How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Zoobox. Welcome to Nightcap for April 4th, 2022. What a night. What a night. Tonight is for the boys. Tonight is for perversion. Tonight is for fetishism. Dear God. Here we go. So, yeah, tonight we're going to be going over medical fetishism, which is just like all other fetishes for perverts and lonely souls. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We are actually multi-streaming for the first time on a Monday night. We're multi-streaming over on Odyssey as well. The reason for that being we are undergoing another YouTube suspension. We are suspended from YouTube for the next 2 weeks until April 17th. So we can't upload, we can't do live streams, we can't do anything on our main channel. And I don't know, we're talking behind the scenes. I got to get touch base with Big Paul. We're going to be talking about stuff in terms of where we're going to go in the future, where we're going to focus our energies. I think YouTube's kind of there's an hourglass with sand falling when it comes to YouTube as is. But we're just like fucking we're stuck. We're stuck every couple months, every month and a half or so. The channel gets a strike, a hard strike, and a suspension. Sometimes that's from people that we watch on Nightcap, and they find the videos, they flag them. This one, we were flagged because of the Daddy 05 stream for child endangerment. That's what they tagged us. They tagged us as we were engaging in child endangerment, and doing activities that could lead to the harassment of a child. And that's just so fucking irritated with it. And if it's a small channel, so there's no recourse. You can appeal it, but you can't describe why you're appealing it. You can't describe anything about the circumstances, and it's really fucking annoying. So make sure you're subbed over to our alternate YouTube channel. Stuff will still go on over there. And then Odyssey, obviously, we're actually live on Odyssey right now as well. I'll be bouncing around. I don't know if anybody's gonna watch us over there, just because we have like 4 followers over there. So if you guys use Odyssey, or if you have an Odyssey account, I'd appreciate it if you go follow us over there. But tonight, like I said, we're gonna take a break from all that bullshit, from all the bullshit of being highfalutin content creators, and we're just gonna stream about perverts. Okay, like I said, medical fetishism. Let's rock and roll. Let's do it. Let's just get going. See where we land. This is another one that was suggested to me by past and future guests, part of the extended Zoobox family, Dan Prophet. So if it's bad, if tonight is bad, blame him. Go find him. Find where he lives and tell him you're unhappy. There we go. Share screen. I don't have anything set up. It's a great night to be alive. All right, here we go. So we're just going to look at something that I guess kind of describes the nature of it. I said, oh, look what you've stumbled into. Look what you've stumbled into on the internet, young sir. So, God. You know what really sucks, though? Doing multi-streaming with StreamYards. And if you use these other sites, you like use DLive or Odyssey, like it does not auto populate the comments. So anytime I want to see the comments from you guys, I have to like tab over. It's a real pain in the ass. All right, let's go.
Open your mouth. Good girl. Make me a bit cold.
I'm Chloe Cross, and I'm in search of better and different sex. Lots of us have had a naughty nurse fantasy at some point, but some people take the medical fetish to a whole new level. What does a medical examination fetish involve?
It can be for everything, super small, like, oh, let's give you an eye examination, you need an eye patch, to everything to an anal speculum.
When did you first realise that you had a medical?
An anal speculum. An anal speculum. That does not sound pleasant. That doesn't sound like something I'd want to do for fun. Just like, oh, you've never heard of an anal speculum? Well, let me tell you. You ever see those videos of people eating cereal out of their buttholes? Well, if you don't have a big BBC on hand, you got to get yourself an anal speculum.
Examination fetish.
When I was a kid, it started, and it still happens now. Like if I go to the doctors, if it's just even for like a checkup, there's something I find extremely soothing about being examined by a doctor.
Caring, nurturing.
Yeah, or like the safety of being like I'm in exactly
you've
the
put
right
your life
place.
into someone else's hands. You know, I really love the aesthetics of leg braces, of arm casts, of back braces, of neck braces.
So when you actually do the
You could
examination,
be checking eyesight, you know, pupil dilation. It could be anything as silly as just, you know, tapping your knee to see your reflexes.
you don't use needles or injections.
Well, you
or
can.
anything.
You can get electric cock rings, or you can have
Violet
electric.
wands.
Electric. Hold on a second. I was distracted. I was trying to make sure that the fucking D-Live wasn't frozen. The chat wasn't frozen because it was acting weird. Did you say electric cock rings? Hagbard says, why does the Pokemon nurse have an anal speculum? Well, you know, that's what all the kids like. That's what they're into these days. Anal speculums. Just in case they want to eat cereal out of each other's buttholes. But she's talking about, what was she talking about? Fucking wands and electric cock rings? How does that fit into medical fetishism? Like, that just seems like regular fetishism. That seems like it would be kind of, well, a specific kind of a different sort, I suppose. But that has nothing to do with like going to the doctor. When was the last time you went to the doctor? Like, excuse me, sir, we're gonna need you to put on this this electric cock ring.
Anything as silly as just, you know, tapping your knee to see your reflexes.
You don't use needles or injections.
Well, you
or
can.
anything.
You can get electric cock.
Prophet says in the chat, everybody can remember that fateful day in rock and roll history when Dylan's cock ring went electric. Hagbard said, that's my new band name, the Electric Cock Ring. Actually, I'm going to go with Dylan's cock ring. That'll be our first album, Went Electric.
Rings, or you can have
Violet
electric.
wands.
I wanted to see them in action, so I scrubbed up and joined in the fun.
Okay, let's begin.
Well, I'm glad that she scrubbed up. I'm glad that she's practicing safe medical fetishism.
What's your complaint today? Why have you graced my doors?
I've got pain in my hands.
What else does it hurt? What about here? What about your chest area?
Yes, sir.
Does that hurt? Does that hurt?
Yes, sir.
Good girl. This is something very special. Open your mouth. Good girl. Okay, this may feel a little bit cold. I'm going to open it just a little bit.
I guess it takes like that idea of like BDSM and fetishism. Isn't there like an aspect to it that's about vulnerability, of being helpless, and kind of just takes that to the next level? Because in the natural world, in our regular lives, the places that we would be probably most vulnerable or feel most vulnerable would be during when you go see the doctor. If you have to have any kind of procedure or surgery, somebody has to clamp your fucking mouth open. Ugh, I don't know why this would be appealing to anyone. I don't understand this. I don't understand this at all.
Yeah, okay. I can't see any broken bones in there. So let's diagnose this broken bone that you say you've got. Okay, does that hurt? Arm? Does that hurt? Good girl. You're doing very well, aren't you? I'm gonna fuck that up. So.
Oh my god. I've never really understood the latex thing. It's always seemed like kind of odd to me. But it doesn't seem like, doesn't seem like this person maybe doesn't also have a myriad other problems that might have led them down this particular road of fetishism.
I'm gonna fuck that up so hard. Good girl. Nurse, hand me the tissues, please.
It's like I might be committing a crime.
I need you to decompress your tongue. Pop it in. There you go. Hold it down. Maybe we need to do a more thorough exam here. What do you think, nurse?
Bring out the anal speculum.
No, I think we need to do another one.
Let's break out the speculums.
Yep. That's when you know you're in for a good time. When you hear somebody say, break out the speculums. Oh, yeah.
amputees.
I work as a professional dominatrix and I get a lot of amputees coming to me. And for me, the human body can be so fragile. But then you...
Hagbard says they heard you. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like we're communicating, we're vibing. I think that's what the kids call it. We're vibing right now. Vibing with these freaky bitches. Oh my god. This girl's cute. I don't know. This whole thing, this would kind of terrify me. This was kind of terrifying me. I don't know if I could ever get comfortable enough to really enjoy myself in this situation. And also, they're like this weird mental ward looking place. Looks like maybe there's some mold up here, some asbestos. Very authentic.
make it 1,000% better.
Do you like the actual stump as well, or is it more the?
It's more the aesthetics.
I definitely had a play partner that had like some missing digits, and that was really, really, really hot.
I can see the thrill of this kind of poking and prodding, but that metal can be super cold.
That's it. Oh my gosh. We may have to return to this at some point. Getting turned on by secretly urinating in public. Let's take a quick detour. I gotta getting turned on by secretly urinating in public. Yeah, I guess it was just a shame thing, I suppose. Prophet says latex, making plain girls sexy since 1965. It's tried, it's true. Everybody likes it. Urolognia, deriving sexual pleasure from sight or thought of urination.
I'm Chloe Cross, and I'm in search of better and different sex. Pissing, or the golden shower, is a well-known kink. But there's a growing community of people who get off on pissing secretly in public places.
Oh my.
So you have a fetish for urine.
That's correct, yeah.
What is it that turns you on about pissing outside?
Voyeurism and exhibitionism.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, you. So you have a fetish for urine? Why, yes, I do.
Seeing people going outside as well, watching other people go.
Why do you think it is? Where did it come from?
I think when I was about 10, I was playing out on the evening with a friend of mine, and she said, "Oh, I need to go to the toilet." I expected that meant we were going to go home, and she didn't. She just dropped her jeans and pants, stuck her head in her bum, and went there. And I'd never seen a girl go to the toilet before.
She just did it in front of you?
Yeah, she just went right in front of me. She told me.
He just had the experience that many people have had watching Nightcap, awakens something deep inside of them, something dark, something shameful. Prof says, imagine where these people's civilization would, I'm assuming would be if they had lost World War II.
Off for looking. Years later, I was driving people in taxis, having to stop the car with girls on board who just got out and did the same thing.
Because they were pissed?
Yeah.
Do you have a partner at the moment?
I do, yeah.
And does she know about this?
She doesn't know about it at all.
So you video yourself doing it on your phone,
Yeah.
and you'll upload that to...
Well, that's a recipe for a very healthy, long-lasting relationship.
fetish sites and things.
Yeah.
And then you like the thought of people watching that and it turning them on.
Yeah, and I have a few people that I've traded, so they've done the same thing, and they'll send video clips back to me.
Do you ever kind of feel like you want to do it, but you're not kind of ready physically?
Sometimes I go past a place where there is a toilet, and I'll carry on, and then that puts me in the situation of needing to go later on.
What kind of drinks do you think would be best if you were going to do that?
Water, drinking lots of water.
No juices?
No.
Fruit shoots?
No, don't think anything like that.
No, he's a purist, okay? He doesn't want like a thick, sticky pee. He wants something that's like nice and clear and strong and clean. This guy's he's not a psychopath.
What kind of places do you do it in?
It's normally lay-bys, and I'll go through the hedge, so I'm not openly visible to everyone who's going past.
I wanted to see.
So it's not everybody. He doesn't want it, he just wants that special walker by, that special passerby to get the full Monty. He's not he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. He's not rude.
On an action, and he was keen to be looked at.
All right. Whenever, when you're good to go.
He's like, check this out. Man, look at the dumper on this guy, huh? It looks like he's got like the body of he could be like the Penguin. He could be the Penguin. Prof says he wants to piss clear every 2 hours like Durian Rider. Yes, exactly. Get me a bit of sugar water, mate.
I stood back and waited for him to do his thing.
Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I've never done this before.
That's all right.
He's like, I like to ambush people. I don't like it being premeditated. Like, I don't want you to know that you're about to watch me pee. I like for you to be surprised.
Okay.
Incredibly erotic. Oh, this is on YouTube, by the way. This is okay. This is okay to have this kind of shit on YouTube. All the stuff we're gonna watch tonight is gonna be on YouTube. This stuff's okay for this stuff to be on YouTube, but do not make fun of a guy that psychologically abuses a child. Don't do that, though. FYI.
So how was that?
Enjoyed that. Yeah.
What's enjoyable about it?
Knowing I'm being watched. Obviously, you're watching me.
Will you think about this now?
Yeah, I'd filmed it. I would go home and upload it, and then
Like, this guy's got like the body type where it's not like super inconspicuous, you know. Like, if he's got a girlfriend, she might see this. Maybe he wants her to. Maybe that's like also part of it. He's gonna get like an Inception style surprise pee on his girlfriend, and then he's really gonna see some fetish returns, some real gains there. He's gonna be cooming so hard later. He's gonna be like, she could see this at any time, mate. She could see it at any time. My dirty secret exposed.
and then obviously people pass comments on the various websites. I'll watch it back again.
I wanted to know more about this fetish and see if it was popular with the man in the street. If your girlfriend or partner, if she was going out in public places and pissing and videoing it and then putting the videos on the internet for people to...
For me, I was brought up in a household where if your woman does that, you have to just kick her to the curb. There ain't no weeing on the streets.
How would you feel?
There ain't no weeing on the streets, mate. It's not done. It's not done.
I feel a little bit betrayed, as in like I would have liked to have been informed. Then I'd probably try and understand the reasons why, and I was trying to...
Oh, of course, the empathetic woman here, not some psychopath. Oh yeah, no, I'd just be curious about it. I'd be more offended that he didn't tell me. So let me join in.
tackle it from a mental health perspective.
Have you ever, or has anyone ever asked you to piss on them?
Yeah, I've had a guy do that to me before without asking, and I was a bit pissed off.
Pissed off?
Yeah, pissed off.
That's why she's got her own channel. That's why she's got her own channel when she's got those zingers. She got those zingers ready to rock and roll. Let me see what else we got here. Medical fetishist. Okay, so this is like a series of videos we're gonna check out. It's like a professional. Oh Jesus, that's loud. Somewhat of a professional fetishist, and it's called. Her name is Jean Bardot. She has a YouTube channel as well. Again, this kind of stuff totally cool to be on YouTube. And she has a show called Kink of the Week. And this is a 3-part series where she goes into detail about what this is like and the types of people, I think, that are into it. I haven't watched it. I kind of skimmed a little bit just to make sure it was like a real video, because I had my suspicions, but it was real. Lo and behold.
Welcome to the Jean Bardot Show, and here is another episode of Kink of the Week. This kink this week, my medical room. What's the fetish? Medical fetish. What's it all about, you're asking? Well, let me tell you a few things about my medical room to give you a little bit of ideas of where I go in this room, where I take people, how I take them there. My little gynecological table.
Yeah, there's tons of videos. I found. I'll try to see if I can find them again. I don't know if I like put them in the dossier, but of people with like blurred out footage of gynecologist exams, and they're all like coded towards medical fetishism. So people just like watching videos of like people having these like pap smears and shit like that. And they're all on YouTube. They're all on YouTube. Just like because all of these social media sites like YouTube, Twitter, people use various like terms and coded words and stuff like that to hide these videos all over the sites. You can find all sorts of weird shit apparently. And as I was kind of just clicking around through suggested videos, through playlists, found all sorts of weirdo shit. All sorts of weirdo shit.
Feet in nice stirrups, spreading them wide, giving a full examination. That's a little bit about the medical fetish. People like the feeling of being poked and prodded with implements, being examined, being tested. I have this crazy gurney, stainless steel, cold, very chilly, very fun to lay someone down and strap them to it, immobilizing them,
Like creeping me
wrapping
out.
them up, mummifying them a little bit,
Oh yeah.
testing their limits in that kind of methodology. It's shiny. It's pretty. Medical fetish is a lot about role playing. How role playing goes could go many different ways. Doctor, nurse, doctor, patient.
What about doctor? Huh? What about doctor, where you just sit there and argue about whether or not your healthcare coverage covers the procedure?
Huge thing about medical fetishes are the examinations. Some people really need to be restrained and tied down for those examinations. Not all exams feel good. Some examinations are really, really thorough. Cavity searches. Why are you feeling a certain way? How are you feeling a certain way? And how am I going to remedy those feelings? Am I going to make them worse or am I going to make them better? There's a lot of different directions a medical fetish can go. Some people really, really like to feel helpless, strapped down and bound, gagged, muffled, so you don't hear the cries and the screams of something so painful. Those are the things that kind of get me rolling and moving and having a good time in a medical fetish scene. There's so many implements in this room. As in part 2, I'm going to show you a lot of different implements and things that I do with them. And maybe we'll be lucky enough to see some of those things in action.
You're putting me to sleep, lady. This is not a good intro. This is not enticing me to want to hear more of you. These people. Hagbert says, I thought you were going for a Thompson twins joke there, doctor. Actually, I thought of that joke earlier, and then the moment passed by because I was thinking about the Cronenberg movie.
Medical fetish? Is it your thing? Are you going to know? You're not going to not know until you try it. I really like treating hysteria. It's kind of a fun thing to create a little bit more havoc in one's body. Castrations are kind of fun too. Those balls, they're not really necessary, especially if you're not, using them. I don't need them. They're fun to throw away.
And people they watch this shit. They love this shit. They love it. I bet you. Well, let's see if she has any comments afterwards. Because it's probably like, this was so great, Miss Bardot. This was so amazing.
Anyway, thank you for watching the Kink of the Week. This is the part 1.
Dr. Bardot. I don't know if you have time to see this one today, but this one has issues.
This one has giant balls.
Has issues?
I think she may need pain therapy, or perhaps
pain therapy.
Perhaps her junk might need to be removed.
See?
But do you have anything here?
Is she cooperating?
Not really. No, look what I had to do to her. So.
Tilda, are there problems, Tilda?
This is the world Durian Ryder wants. He wants that pure hedonism. He's like, oh yeah, mate. Look at that. Have a little bit of licorice. Get your energy up. Have a row with this bunch, this lot.
We'll have to have a discussion or two first.
So certainly you have some devices, right?
I have many devices.
Okay.
Now just stand there and behave yourselves while I'll finish this up and then we can continue. Understood?
Yes, doctor.
Ladies?
Yes, doctor.
Thank you for watching the Kink of the Week Medical Fetish Part 1. A few more parts coming your way soon. Follow me on Facebook, The Jean Bardot Show.
Oh, that's cool. Oh no, now they're assaulting him.
Watch more of the Jean Bardot Show episodes on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, Jean Bardot. Instagram, The Jean Bardot Show. Thanks again for watching and stay tuned for Kink of the Week Medical Fetish Part 2.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Oh, the Cronenberg movie I was thinking of, it just came to Dead Ringers. Cronenberg did 2 movies that were about like weird fetish cultures. One was Dead Ringers, which is like, that's in the subtext. Well, not really in the subtext. It is what the movie's kind of about, but it's also about other things. And also Crash, based on the J.G. Ballard novel. It's also very, very odd movie. Not bad movies, just very weird.
Welcome to the Jean Bardot Show, Kink of the Week. I am going to present to you part 2 of our medical fetish, Kink of the Week. Yeah, well, as you remember, Tilda and Sybil rudely interrupted me while I was doing my part 1 of medical
Last time on Jean Bardot's Kink of the Week.
fetish. So I've decided that Miss Tilda really needs an examination. Sybil thought so too.
Do you have the diagnosis yet?
Not yet. But I am going to show how we are going to create a diagnosis of Miss Tilda as I examine her a little bit. Part 2 is all about devices and what we're going to do and how we use them nicely, safely, properly.
She just gives her a regular, just gives him a regular exam. Just a regular exam.
Let's start over here. This is just a brief table of some medical devices that use electricity for treatments. These are pads I can stick on, insertables that get stuck inside to kind of create different temperatures, vibrations. Now, electrical play is for someone, for people that have practiced quite a bit in the S&M world. It's not.
Well, how's this medical fetishism? Now you're just bringing in like sexual fetishism into it. I thought the whole point of medical fetishism was to use like medical instruments in a fetishistic way. I don't know if a fucking electric butt plug really comes into common practice. You go get a checkup.
That's something for a beginner. So we'll be talking about medical, or we'll be talking about electrical play at a different time, but these are quite nice to use in a medical scene, aren't they, Tilda? You can just look at that right there.
Tilda, don't interrupt the doctor.
Electrical bands that go around things that get attached to the electrical box. Mm-hmm. Turn it up high enough, it might just fall off, Tilda. Now here's an electrical box. This is what everything would get plugged into, turned on, different settings, different treatments.
This is like this is painful in a way that I was not expecting, as in that it's boring. How do you take this and make it boring? By God, Jean Bardot found a way.
I in particular like this one. A little hysteria treatment, maybe?
I think I've got that.
What else do I have for you, Miss Tilda? Oh, yes. For those examinations of your tonsils, of why someone talks too much, moans too loud, how to keep them quiet, or how to open that mouth up to see exactly what's going on inside that mouth. This is a pretty little medical.
So is in her like her version of this is just to do kinky stuff, just to, like kink stuff, while dressed like a nurse in a room that looks like it's set up for a doctor. Come on now.
Gag. Teeth go around here very carefully. Get strapped across the head. You can put things inside once it's on. You can. Oh. Someone's getting a little anxious. She's drooling all over the place. We have treatments for that too, don't we, Miss Tilda? As you can see, I had to strap Miss Tilda down. My beautiful latex arm binders strapped to the gyno
Can you believe this is what they wanted to show 7-year-olds in Florida?
chair, immobilizing you a little bit.
Prophet says this kind of sex was never interesting to me. Where's the part where I get to come? So much work. Yeah, I'd agree. Nothing like this has ever been appealing to me, and nothing like this person is doing is making it any more appealing. I guess it's like this is for the inundated, the people that are already there. They watch this and they giggle to themselves like, "Oh, Jean Bardot." This is for her and her friends to watch, much like Zubox videos.
Making sure you don't squirm too much, because if I'm going to stick a needle in you, I want to make sure I get that spot that I'm aiming for without someone else, as in Tilda, moving around too much. Oh. And look at this thing. What is this, you ask? Tilda, do you know what this is?
Is that a plunger?
It's not a plunger. It is a bona fide ball crusher. This comes apart, gets strapped around the balls, gets bolted back onto this extremely heavy device, and the balls just get crushed very, very slowly or quickly, however I may see fit.
Oh, I take it back. No, this makes it way more enticing now. Why? I don't get it. I don't get why people would be into that. I really don't. It's completely lost to me. I just don't understand it. Call me. I'm just a normie, an old fuddy-duddy.
Don't cure her, I'm sure.
Now this is very heavy, isn't it, Tilda? Don't let it fall. Hold it tight, Missy. Put your head back. Just relax. It's hard to keep this one calm. She just gets too excited.
Maybe she's constipated.
We do have devices for that too. You see the nice red enema bag next to the chair. Fill that up with some nice warm water. Clean Miss Tilda out before we do any more thorough examination.
Yeah, before you use the anal opener things there and you eat cereal out of it, you gotta make sure it's clean.
Making sure you're nice and pristine. We wouldn't want any infection now, would we? No, I didn't think so. But anyway, those are just a few things we can start off with Miss Tilda. Poor girl. Thank you for watching the Kink of the Week Part 2. One more part to medical fetish.
What's the point? Is this part of like the torture fetish that she's doing? Let me break these up into 3 videos. Well, I promised to show you something interesting, but I never do.
And I think I'll give you a good grasp of what medical fetish is about. Follow me here on YouTube, The Jean Bardot Show, Twitter, Jean Bardot, Instagram, The Jean Bardot Show, and Facebook, The Jean Bardot Show. I love to hear all your commentaries on how you think I'm doing. And we're doing medical fetish because there's been lots of comments of people wanting to see my medical room and learn a little bit about medical fetish. So stay tuned.
I haven't learned anything. I haven't learned it. In fact, I would suggest, I know I'm a novice. I don't know. I don't really know much about this, but that doesn't seem like it had much to do with medical fetish other than the environment. Call me old fashioned. Oh yeah, that wonderful opening. Dude.
Welcome to the Jean Bardot Show, Kink of the Week, Medical Fetish Part 3. As you've seen in parts 1 and 2, I've shown off my medical room and some of the devices I have. And now I'm going to show you other things I kind of stock in my medical room that kind of keep a medical scene going freely, beautifully. Lots of things need to be pretty clean and pretty sterile, hence gloves on hands. You don't want anyone to get infected. You don't want anything bad to happen to me or my patient. How the lovely Miss Tilda has just offered herself up for examination. And my lovely assistant, Miss Sybil.
She's looking, I don't know, we've come to a diagnosis yet. What are we going to do with this one?
Oh, we're going to do lots of things.
It's like a fucking linebacker in a dress.
She's got a fever.
Something to stock a medical room with. Sterile cotton swabs. Sybil, can you think of something to do with that?
Oh, she's got a lot of wax in her ear. Let's stick it in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez, that's a dirty one. Okay. All right.
That's not even a real laugh. That's not even real joy. Everything is sterile. Everything is simulated.
Oh, geez, that's a dirty one. Okay. All right.
Poor Tilda. Sometimes I need to strap down a patient, take away some of their senses. This is a veterinary tool that they use for animals. I just tend to use them on my patients.
Oh, more of that
This
joyous
is
humor.
Stretchy. It
Oh.
sticks to itself. It's not messy. It works well for strapping someone.
Hagbert says, I like simple pleasures, like butter on my ass, lollipops in my mouth. That's just me. That's just something I enjoy. Call me a pervert, whatever.
Down a little further.
Videotapes the future, Jack.
Making horsey noises.
Can you hold this right here, Miss Sybil? There you go.
Prof says, Sean, why am I getting hard? Sean! I don't know. It's taking effect. It's starting to happen. Something dark is awakening inside of you.
Just strap her down a little more. Stick that. Is that enough? Yeah. Always have a safety scissors nearby. Blunt tipped, extremely sharp, can cut through anything if you get into an emergency situation.
I think she's dying.
She's fine. Sometimes when someone is immobilized, they can't really get up and use the restroom when necessary. Or sometimes it's just a fetish to stick a catheter inside their urethra. So you want to have...
Okay, so now we have something that is, specifically medical. That's fucking that's just fucking disgusting.
a wide range of different sizes available, just in case the holes aren't as big as others.
Hagbird wants to know, so does this broad only torture trannies? Yeah, well, because that's the only friend she has. That's her friend group. Something tells me she's... Well, I mean, I guess she presents herself as some sort of professional dominatrix, but,
When you have catheters, you have to have irrigation trays. Bags to fill up with the fluids. Those all need to be extremely sterile and very clean. These are harnesses to keep the bag attached.
I wonder if it's illegal to do that kind of stuff without a license. You know what I mean? Because that's like a real thing. It's like a real procedure. Catheters. Do you have to be licensed to like use a catheter like that? Probably not. But Jesus Christ, if I was this person, I would hope that they did. I would hope that they did.
To her leg. Sometimes you want sterile implements for cutting things. Here's a bag of sterile implements, clamps, gauzes, forceps, anything you might need.
Enough of these.
Condoms, yes. Sometimes things get inserted in different places and you like to keep them clean. Putting a condom over something keeps...
Hybrid says, I know people who have to self-catheter, so I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense. After I said it, I was like, no, that's probably not true. But yeah. But still, I would hope. I mean, would you just trust somebody like this to know what they were doing? I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all.
it nice and clean. You just take the condom
Very
off
uneasy.
after it's been removed, and it's a quick, easy cleanup with some soap and some water. Yeah, Tilda, there's lots of things going to happen to you. What are other things? Oh, let's try some needle play. That's a huge medical fetish. Needle play, you want those to be nice and sterile. They're individually packaged. They also come in various different sizes. Can you imagine, Tilda, the human pincushion?
Tilda!
Again, totally allowed on YouTube. Anybody could find this.
Oh, and you need lots of alcohol wipes for cleaning areas before you prick them. Making sure the skin is nice and clean. Taking that sterile needle and just sliding it through various places on the body, creating that beautiful pincushion. It gives quite the endorphin rush. But having medical alcohol pads are a necessity in any medical room, aren't they?
Pulse is racing. Oh my God!
Oh, Miss Tilda. There's so many things in here. Look at that huge syringe over there, Miss Sybil.
Ooh.
I
like this.
We could fill that with something and put the other gag in there and force her to accept a certain kind of treatment. Anyway, that is Kink of the Week, Part 3. Those are some fun implements. Here's my medical room. And thank you for watching. Follow us on YouTube, The Jean Bardo Show, Twitter.
What a wild time that was. Holy shit. Holy shit. They made that really boring. This is another one of these kind of like interviews with another person that seems like a at-home BDSM person, dominatrix type, Mistress Natalie. Naughty Medical Lab.
Hi, Becky Buddies. We have moved on in Mistress Natalie's studio and now have come over to her medical corner. She mentioned in our interview that she really specializes in medical play. So before we get started, you kind of show and tell, can you give us a little definition of like what is medical play?
Well, medical play can be a medical-based role play. And
I just want to say, she's like a giant. She's like a fucking giant, dude. Holy crap. Could be 10 feet tall.
that could be anything, school nurse, sent for your physical, hospitalized, sometimes, prison ward, insane asylum. So it could go from very, very light, obviously, to very, very dark and twisted. But there's always that, again, power exchange and dynamic where the doctor and or nurse and or facilitator is in the position of power. So it sets things up. And the things that can happen in the medical area can also just be applied to my regular fetish BDSM sessions. But in this area,
There's got to be like a study. There's got to be like a study of the types of people that like become this. that want to do this, and then even to take it to the extreme to do it for like a living to a certain degree. Wonder what their pathology is like. What's in their childhood? How did this develop? How did this need to have this kind of power over another person or to humiliate people or whatever? Is it innate? Is it just something that people are kind of innately gravitate towards given the runway to do so? I don't know.
They generally do have some sort of medical role play going along with them, and thus the look of the doctor's office.
This whole room. So can you walk us through and kind of show us a little bit of your favorite things and what they might be used for?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, first is the table. It's essential, absolutely essential. So
Yes.
we have stirrups. We have high stirrups. There's some restraints. Straight restraints can be used on the table. Obviously, the straight jacket, more traditional version of the straight jacket. And as far as some of the actual things that are done to the patient, enemas, which can be used, more for sort of just cleaning out purposes or actual real intense punishment enemas.
Whoa.
Much like the equipment on the other wall, it really runs the gamut from very, very light.
Yeah, but these are not medical devices.
Runs the gamut from very, very light to extraordinarily extreme. As I said earlier today, 3 hours of enemas. I can accommodate that very easily.
Why?
So moving on from the enemas, we have this lovely cabinet here that has a whole host of electric toys, which are some of my favorite things to play with. This is the insertable.
Hybrid says, I've known several dominatrixes in my life. The only real common thread that connected several of them was dope.
Section. So these are all inserted rectally. Up here we have electrics that can be used urethral inside the urethra or
Holy
externally
shit.
on the genitals, more for genital play. And I don't play above the waist with electrics because I don't feel it's particularly safe. So all of these are below the waist play. And then we have some other pretty vicious medical tools. Pull, very unpleasant gag out. Not fun for them. And speculums, anal hooks, again, urethral spreaders. So, most of this stuff can be used fairly mildly. Same with the electrics, or it can be amped up to make it seriously intense. And then,
So what if something goes wrong? What if you fucking rip somebody's urethra or something? Like, well, it's part of what you paid for. It's part of what you paid. It's part of the experience.
in the medical cabinet here, I just have some basic tongue depressors and stethoscope and flashlights to look into your mouth for the more role play aspect of it. And there's a whole host of piercing supplies because I do a lot of play piercing. And I also have a whole section of sounds, again, for urethral play. I have head immobilization. I do have a board, like an EMT board to immobilize the back, and a hood that is a little bit more nurse institution feeling. Have some drain bags for catheters. Again, this is more of the intense play. And yeah, when it comes to medical, I can do very light doctor role play, young boy at the school nurse, or serious enemas, catheterization, scrotal inflation. So some
Oh my God.
So everything from JV to varsity.
It's like, I think it's kind of and I feel like this has been true in the past when we've looked at some of these weirder things. The more interesting people to listen to are the people that would go see somebody like this. It's not necessarily the person themselves, because this is how they always present themselves, and always in a very good light, almost like quasi-professional to some degree. But it's like the sick fucks that would like go do this. That's actually where the interesting juice is.
As I said before. Yeah. Awesome.
Because these people, you find they're really not that interesting. They're kind of boring, kind of plain in a weird way. In a weird way, they're kind of plain. she's badass Becky over here. She's just like, oh yeah, I'm really on an adventure right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What else does she do? So she does coaching. Let's see what else this person does. This is not a very heavily sub channel. I don't even know if they still do videos, because that video was from 2016. The Badass Becky channel, the woman that was interviewing her, I think she must have had her channel either deleted or she deleted it herself. I don't know. Maybe she was censored as well. Yeah, so the last time she did anything was about a year ago. And I don't know. It seems like there's these quick kind of like how-to videos. The best biohacking equipment. Do-it-yourself ice cream. What? Okay. Oh, of course is she a vegan? No, I don't think so. Thought she might be for a second. All right. Let's see what she does when she makes ice cream. Maybe she pivoted in her career.
Here we are, another Labor Day, and I am going to make my last batch of bulletproof ice cream. I had made a video a couple of years ago when I first made it, and I remember it was over 4th of July, and so I decided that this would be an appropriate time to revisit my first attempt and let everybody know that I have been consistently making it as a treat in the summer months, and it's absolutely delicious. So to go over what I like to do to get some bulletproof ice cream, I get my ingredients together, which are pretty simple. Some unsalted grass-fed butter and coconut oil. And then we have the bulletproof XTC oil.
Oh, so she's like a gym rat. She's like a gym rat as well. I'm assuming this is some sort of healthy milkshake.
And we need some xylitol from the American hardwood trees. And some upgraded vanilla, which I believe now is Vanilla Max. This time I do not have the upgraded cocoa butter.
She doesn't have the upgraded cocoa butter. Might as well just shut this off. What a loser.
So I am using the coconut oil instead, but I will say I've tried it both ways. They're both really delicious, but I do prefer the cocoa butter better. I just happened to run out. You're also going to need a little bit of apple cider vinegar and some grass-fed eggs. So in here, in the blender, all ready to go, I have...
Prophet says, it's got nothing on me banana smoothies, mate.
4 whole grass-fed eggs and 4 grass-fed yolks. And then in my saucepan over here...
Okay, we don't need to watch this.
Which is delicious. I've done both the cocoa powder with a little splash.
Okay. I was just curious. I was curious what other kind of content she was creating. And while she does have some other fetish how-to videos, there's also a lot of food reviews. Seems like she's like a fitness coach. You know, that seems like kind of where she's ended up. Where I had one. Here we go. This is some weird old guy that tells you about medical fetish toys.
Hello there.
And he just kind of made me laugh. So we'll see.
Hello there.
Hello there. It's not a very long video, but I just saw his face. I was just like, what the hell is this guy doing talking about this? You never know. It could be your neighbor, your doctor, the trash man. They could be medical fetishists.
Peter here again from peachesandscreams.co.uk, and coming up this time,
Oh.
a guide to medical fetish sex toys.
Peaches and Screams. That's an interesting name.
Playing doctors and nurses has always been an intriguing aspect in many people's childhoods. With the intense fascination with the medical profession, the play has not been limited to the innocent childhood play. Composing of both penetrative and non-penetrative sexual play, medical fetish play is as satisfying as any other thrilling and intense game. Whilst medical tools may seem scary to some, BDSM practitioners with a soft spot for medical play find them very intense and effective for achieving their desired purposes.
Oh my goodness. KB Doc Holiday says he looks like a kitty diddler. A little bit. Definitely suspect. Pretty sus. Hagbert says this guy's lead sitar and electric cock ring.
Getting started may seem like a daunting task, but there's always a way to start slow and build on your collection. Here then is a list of a few toys that are very popular in the medical fetish scene. And we'll start with the naughty nurse costume. Nurses have always
I wonder, like, do you find yourself as like a salesman starting a site like this and like selling these kinds of products? Do you think it's possible that he actually isn't into any of this kind of stuff and he just found himself there? That would be actually pretty fun. If he just found himself here one day, he's like, I don't know, this is just what I do. Yeah, a lot of freaks out there. A lot of freaks got a lot of money.
being portrayed as sexy and beautiful additions to the hospitals. Everyone dreams of having a sexy nurse take care of them, and there is a whole host of costumes designed to ensure that you get some love from a nurse right in the comfort of your own sex den. Nurses' costumes span a wide range of material compositions, from leather to PVC to latex. The outfit is usually a very minimal dress with a cleavage to boot. To top off the dress, you get your hands on a nurse's cap and even an armband. A beautiful white piece.
I mean, he had the ability to make that intro with the sitar and all that kind of stuff. He's able to put his website up top. Why can't you show us some of these things? You know, you have the ability, dude. I believe in you.
With a red cross clearly printed on it. These costumes are ideal for those who are looking for a sensually seductive session. And next, the stethoscope. If there is something porn has taught the masses, it is that consultation sessions can lead to some pretty steamy moments.
So this guy's like, he frames it. He's like, you've seen porn with doctors and nurses, people go in for, average everyday checkups, and they end up getting the ride of their life, having the time of their life in there. You've seen the videos, you know what I'm talking about.
The stethoscope sells the whole doctor scene, giving your role-play session the level of authenticity it needs.
Oh.
And next, the butcher's apron.
Authenticity is key. I would need verisimilitude. I don't need the fantasy to be broken by a cheap costume.
Mad Asylum Doctor outfit is a great addition to the bondage play that is designed to instill fear in the patient. The butcher's apron signifies some twisted experiment is about to go down. A great way to start an electrostimulation session or full body restraint. The apron comes in various colours and designs, but the overall intended effect is the same. Strike a bit of fear into the patient.
Oh.
And next, examination gloves. No proper examination is done without a pair of finger shielding gloves. The gloves give a level of authenticity while also providing protection in the case of extreme play that may have some cuts like piercing play. Keep a box of medical gloves and slap them on while your partner is blindfolded
Medical fetishism has never been so exciting.
and and watch.
This reminds me when I watched that night. I watched all the swingers, all those videos with all like the swingers and the swinger community, and they're just so boring. It kind of just, I mean, what they're about to do, I suppose, isn't boring, but the lead up to it and talking about it and selling it and advertising it is just so boring.
Their body visibly reacts to the sound.
Oh.
Next, alcohol wipes. Safety is of paramount importance in the medical community due to the sheer amount of fluids that get left on tools. Alcohol wipes make for great sanitizing options, especially for non-penetrative tools.
Well, yeah.
Have your
course.
own wipes to always ensure that your tools are safe before each session, keeping your partner and your own self from contracting any infections. Next, speculums.
Speculums.
Stretching out the vaginal or anal muscles for a closer look is something most patients dread. However, medical speculums have found a special home in the BDSM community.
Oh my
as they
God.
give the dominant a closer look into their partner's inner sanctums. However, speculum play
Oh my God, their inner sanctums.
is as risky as it is fun, so always ensure that you follow the safety guides to the letter to avoid any mishaps.
Do you think he knows from experience, or do you think he's just a salesman here? I want to know.
While the stainless steel speculums are most popular, plastic adjustable speculums are also available for those who have no intention of reusing the tool. These disposable plastic speculums are great for play with multiple partners, as a brand new toy is used for every session, avoiding any likelihood of fluid transfer.
Prof says this guy has the same accent as the History Squad guy. I've been listening to his special on the 100 Years' War. This episode is odd.
Next, medical gags. Keep your partner's mouth from closing by getting the gag that is designed to ensure that they will have no clear speech. Unlike ball gags, medical gags give the submissive nothing to bite on when the pressure gets too intense. Instead, they will drool all over, increasing their helplessness and humanity as they make a mess all over the table, bed, or even their own chin and chest.
Oh my God. Ugh. I don't even know. I'm kind of speechless. I'm a little speechless. I shouldn't be. We've watched so many crazy fucking things on Nightcap, but just like the matter of fact nature of the way he describes all this. It's just, I'm at a loss for words.
Medical fetish toys are so many, designed for different purposes and games. All you have to do is lay out your game plan and proceed to acquire the tools necessary to bring your idea to fruition. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget you can get all your favourite sex toys at peachesandscreams.co.uk.
Peaches and Screams, everyone. What else has he done? What is this guy up to? Oh, he does it. Oh, last time he posted a video was 2 years ago. Mr. Short, and buy the best mini discreet vibrators online. I just like, no offense to this guy, but I just don't think like you're the most enticing salesman for this stuff.
Hello there, it's Peter here again from peachesandscreams.co.uk, and in this video we take a look at our collection of vibrators.
Oh, this is a little off-putting. It looks like he's like in a child's room. Look at that bed. That's like a little twin. What the fuck is going on here?
From the Peaches and Screams store, and in particular this time we'll take a look at mini vibrators.
Well, I don't think we're going to be taking a look at anything. I think you're going to be talking about them. But yeah, this room is really putting me off. It's probably another one of these fucking like weird like subgroups that he's part of, and they make these coded videos or something. Maybe this all means something else.
Mini vibrators are discreet, meant to keep hidden, but they're also specifically designed to target your internal and external spots, looking for magical sensations. Gentle buzzing of a mini vibrator feels much like lapping of your favourite tongue. Not all mini vibrators or bullets focus solely on clit coverage. Mini vibrators can be used internally as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough of that, dude. I mean, that's a little weird. But yeah, I can see why he hasn't really taken off. We got some comments though. Great innovation. I had vibrators in the past that had just one vibration. Need to buy this. Me and my girlfriend feel more relaxed. These don't seem like real comments. He was trying, he was out there, he was hustling. He was hustling all right. Jesus Christ. What else we got here? So this is actually a pretty old video. It's called Erotic Power Play, Medical Play with Mistress Sarah Kira, Part 1. It's from 2012. It looks like a video from 2012. I'm excited. Hybrid said that's not a kid's bit. That's a British California king.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gabrielle, and I want to speak with you about erotic power play. I'm back with Sarah Kira here today, and we are going to talk about medical play. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, I have something for you to put on.
Uh-oh.
Yes, a nice apron to protect you when we do our medical demonstration. So why don't you put it on?
It's like just some lonely housewife who has like a show on the internet. She's like, Kira, Sarah, you do these things. Can we talk about it in your house?
Stand up.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, turn around and I will.
Oh, what
secure
could
it.
happen?
It's like latex.
And I recommend for couples to get themselves a little role-playing garment that they can use during their play.
Makes it more ritualistic.
Absolutely. Not only
Fun.
ritualistic, we know who's in charge then. The
I
person
am.
with the apron, right?
Well, that's good.
Okay, let me show you a few things. And we use
Otherwise it would be very confusing. I wouldn't know who was doing what to who.
the apron also for protection in case anything splashes or something gets on you. At least you're protected, that your clothing or your body isn't touched. I recommend to couples, if they want to use this type of play in their regimen of sexual activities, I strongly recommend using this if you're already used to each other, if you've
You have to
already
be familiar with each other.
developed a relationship where there is open conversation about
Do this only after you have received proper training. This is being safe. I don't know. I don't know if you're really speaking to many couples. I know there are probably some couples out there that definitely do this kind of stuff. But probably most of the people that would watch this are probably not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just that boring. Maybe I'm just that much of a normie.
more intense play, because this is a very intense erotic experience that you know how to perform this type of ritualistic behavior. You need some experience and you need some practice before you do it with your partner. The methods are extreme in that there is some medical.
Well, how would you practice? How do you practice if you're not just doing it?
capacity that you need to learn before you start.
Did you get some training yourself?
In my background, I've developed a procedure that I do with other mistresses, and one in particular was a nurse, and she had training in what I'm going to show you. So
Sarah Kira had received her training from a medical nurse. Oh, thankfully it's a nurse.
she knew what to do, and she showed me the way that is most safe. and she always wore an apron. So that was an important aspect. Also, some of the items here are contained in this is a waterproof metal container, but you can get a plastic container. And I recommend a container because then all your items are within something that you could put water in to sterilize.
How do you sterilize it with water?
You use very hot water with some salt. Salt neutralizes the germs and makes it kind of a solution of salt, like a cup of salt with very hot water, and
You could just recommend people buy some sanitizing solution and dump it in there. You know, the kind of stuff they use at restaurants to wash dishes. You know, let them soak in the sanitizer for a hot 5 minutes.
Your implements, and I'll show you the implements in a minute, but let them stand in your tray, it could be plastic or metal, for around 10-15 minutes.
And that is the caution method. And I think before we go into the implements, some of them look very pointy, a little dangerous.
Yes.
Can you say something about the safety of these items? How to use them and so on when you demonstrate?
If you are to use anything or touch anything, always use a pair of rubber gloves. You're going to insert something in the body, and we're going to show you what we're going to do.
She has a bunch of watermelons behind her. It's like, this is what it's exactly like.
With my
Any
implements.
of your patients?
No, but I would love to demonstrate on somebody.
Not on me.
No.
Okay.
But rubber gloves are the easiest way to make your hands sterile. You don't want to touch anything. That's
Everything
gonna
needs
enter
to be
into your
sterile.
body unless you have rubber gloves on.
Right.
You take a already clean, sterilized implement,
What is
such as
that?
this. This is a sound. They come in very large or very small. I recommend we start with small. If you're going to insert it into a male
Can I have a
urethra.
rubber glove
What
too?
the
Yes,
fuck?
please.
Thank you. I don't want to touch your equipment without it. It's not safe.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay.
When you approach a penis,
A penis.
yes, a penis, you're going to
She's like, oh, that's interesting. What is that? What is that?
insert
What is a penis?
a sound like this into a penis.
That looks scary.
Oh, you mean a cock?
How do you do that?
Oh, you mean
After
a
you take
cock?
it out of your solution, you're going to dry everything off and then clean your sound in alcohol, 93% alcohol solution, rather than the typical solution in a drugstore, which is 70%. You want a 93%,
Right.
which is a little purer, and it will clean off your sound after you've already dissolved the salt in water. You're going to clean it up and then wash all your sounds off. I have a variety of sounds.
Right.
They're all metal. You can buy them at a SM store. And always start with the smallest and work your way up.
That goes into the urethra.
Yes, it goes down the urethra, and you do it very slowly.
You use anything on it?
Yes, you do. You take a penis, you put some lubricant onto.
You guys can't like show me. Like, didn't you have like a fake penis lying around? You could demonstrate this.
The edge of it, and you hold on to your penis and
Hagbert says you can clean your laser optics with the 93% alcohol as well.
stick it down.
Does that hurt?
Good to know.
If you did it right, which is holding it at an angle, and the direction of the angle is from the stomach down to the testicles, so you insert it starting from the stomach down, it will not hurt.
And I want to assure again the audience not to try this before having taken proper classes and training. Wouldn't you say?
is absolutely preferable.
She went into mom mode. She went into straight up to mom mode, right? Right.
Because you do not want to hurt your partner.
It could be dangerous if
Correct.
you use it wrongly or too violently or the wrong item.
Correct.
Hagbert says, so the angle of the dangle.
Don't do that before you have training.
To be continued if the audience desires it. I guess we can see. Let's see if there's a part 2. When I grabbed it, I didn't realize it was a 2-parter. Oh yeah. see what other interesting things these ladies are going to get up to with Dr. Gabrielle.
The medical sounds are made out of surgical steel, so they are very
Do not use the small probes, as they can penetrate the prostate and create terrible damage.
inflexible. So it would be easy to puncture the inside of the urethra. You put a line of lubricant, insert very slowly, twist it a little bit so the lubricant kind of spreads itself around as it's going in. You twist it a little bit, but keep going in the same direction. Start with the penis flat on the stomach and insert in. And you could do it up to very large, but it may take up to an hour to get this dimension into the urethra.
What kind of what do you have to experience as a guy to want to have this done to you? How far to the edge have you gone when you're at this point?
Not at all, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
You only go as far as the partner feels safe with. If the partner only feels safe with this, that's all you do that day. Don't try to do a large one until your partner is ready through developing the different sizes. So you start small, you gradually work up to large. And the large should take an hour. So do not rush. If your partner's not into cold metal, because it is cold when it goes in, you could try a rubber catheter. You can get these at surgical supplies. This is made out of rubber. It's flexible. It is sterile when it comes out, so you don't need to wash it or rinse it off or use alcohol. You wear gloves again before you open the package. You take out the catheter and again insert it into the penis from one direction. This has a hole at one end because it is used for surgical purposes to inject things or have the urine fall out.
Oh.
As in, if you go all the way down your penis, you can hit the kidneys, the bladder, and it will drain. Usually I don't go that far because I just want my partner to experience the pleasure involved with inserting something.
The pleasure. Citation needed.
And usually when you're inserting something, it's extremely shocking for the male, and the partner is in surprise and awe of your ability to insert something foreign into them. So it's just exciting enough to have something a little bit in. It is thrilling to have something very flexible in there, and you could flex it around. You can manipulate the penis while it's inside and get them to come because it'll come right out to the other side.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of fun.
Wow.
And inserting it very deeply inside up to here will cause the urine to come from the bottom of the bladder all the way out. So I always recommend when you put it in to clamp it off.
So it doesn't run out.
Correct. That's if you're
You don't want to lose all those good juices. You don't want that to happen.
It all the way in. But
So you grab
I
a
like
cup.
to just play with it up to 6 inches. But if you're inserting it more, then clamp it off so you don't have any danger of spillage.
Stream of
Yes.
urine.
And these are surgical clamps that you find at a medical store.
She's very conservative. She's dressed very conservatively for a dominatrix. Prophet says Diane was right. Diane was right. Scary Gary was right. They're all right. It's not worth it.
So you
Abort.
can use these to clamp off the flow. This is fun. This is a lot of fun to use these type of equipment effectively. It looks good. You look impressive coming with your tray to your partner, and he will develop an immediate respect for you. Along with the rest of our goodies.
He will develop an immediate respect for you. Well, I guess when you're that vulnerable, somebody's got a fucking catheter in your penis. You may be like, yeah, whatever you want to do, go for it.
This tray that conveniently harbors everything, and when you come into the room to be with your partner, bring it all at once so you don't feel scattered around and you don't have things on different tables. Bring it all in one container. So when you reach for something, everything's out of this sterile container. Another item that I like to use is needles. And needles, again, are a dangerous item that if you don't have training with, you need to practice. And practice with some fruit that's advisable, like an orange, and practice with a pillow so that you know how to insert a needle before you try it on your partner.
You may also need to know
How are those equatable? A pillow or an orange, and then a human body.
where veins are and
Correct.
other medical information. So don't try the needles unless you have spoken
Yeah,
to
this lady's like, I will not get sued. I'm not going to get sued for you, Sarah Kira.
someone first who has medical training. Do not just try that on anyone, right?
The prophet says needles. That jackass who fired Marty McFly, the same.
Correct.
After you've practiced on
Even
both.
after you've practiced, it is necessary to get the proper information before you try any of this yourself. And a needle is very sharp. So if you unsheath a needle, once you unsheath it, before you do anything else, put a cap on it, which is a piece of cork. And then you have your needle ready to do anything you need to do with it with the cap on, which is a cork, just a little cork that you buy from a craft store.
I mean, what would you do? Are you extracting blood? I mean, these are the kind of needles that you can extract blood with.
A craft cork, and I get a bag of them. Have your
She's
needles.
like, I just go down to, the craft store, Hobby Lobby, pick up my needle corks.
You're going to use ready in your tray with the corks on them so that you have no problem reaching for a needle and taking the cork off, and with one motion doing your job on your partner. I recommend using them on the nipples.
Oh.
And that's all you need to.
Look, I wish we had different angles. Look at her face. Look at her face. She's like, when she said nipples, she was like, oh, uh-huh. She's watching.
Using them on the nipples.
Wow.
And that.
That exhale. Prof says just reuse vitamin B12 shots. Yeah.
That's all you need to use it on. Many other subjects like having their cock and balls needled, but that's a very.
Hold on. She says cock and balls.
Doing your job on your partner. I recommend using them on the nipples.
Wow.
And that's all you need to use it on.
Yeah.
Many other subjects like having their cock and balls.
She's like, what now? Cock and ball. They want needles put in their dicks and their balls? What's going on here, Sarah Kira? What's going on, mistress?
Needled, but that's a very advanced that even I feel not trustworthy of my knowledge, because there are a lot of veins and arteries that may cause excessive bleeding if you hit one of them. So the nipples are very safe, and you just pinch as if you're pinching the fabric and push the needle through in one direction and with one motion.
That should be quite painful, though.
It is
to
not.
Be somewhat, it's not.
It is not. It's not like your ear.
Oh wow.
So if you remember getting your ears pierced, they did it with one motion. Just stick it right through. It's the same with the nipple, but you take not the tip. You take the skin that's around the nipple, and you push it through.
You guys writing this down? This is very important information.
Very easy, and it is not as painful as it looks. It looks terrible, and your partner will be looking down with it with horror, but it is not painful for him. Tell him to breathe with it. You go, stick it through, and let out the breath.
And of course, this is again a consensual fantasy. The partner has excitement about that, and you have discussed that beforehand. Well,
Correct.
Sarah, thank you so much. This will be it for today. And now that I am invited back to
This is like it's almost like comes off like this could be like a sketch. This could be some sort of weird like Tim and Eric sketch or something.
Sarah's house. Next time we are going to talk to another aspect of medical play. It is called enemas. But this is it for today. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. What else? Oh, yeah. She stopped doing stuff a long time ago. Oh, she looks like she even upgraded to like a public access show. Erotic power play. Oh, this was a this. I think this was some of this was a public access show that she had. Oh wow. What is cross dressing? She's just educating the public. What a nice lady. Okay, so this is a video. This is actually a news segment. Somebody got in trouble. Somebody got in trouble for doing this stuff, and they got in trouble because they didn't have a license. Apparently, you cannot just bring people into your house and start cutting on them.
Tonight, the bizarre case of an imposter doctor doing surgeries and posting the videos on YouTube just keeps getting stranger. Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears found the woman who recorded one of those surgeries has made and sold more medical videos, and it's all tied to the world of fetish pornography.
Dr. Rick's assistant is giving him a syringe of ozonated water.
This cyst removal surgery performed in 2011 without anesthesia and without a real doctor is just one reason Rick Van Thiel is behind bars. But Dr. Rick may not be the only person in Las Vegas practicing medicine
He's like, they all wanted it. They all wanted it, Your Honor.
without a license.
So, Rick, are you a surgeon?
No, but I played one
I like the Veterans for Ron Paul shirt.
once in a movie.
Libertarians definitely into this kind of stuff. Libertarians are all about this kind of stuff. They're like, what does anybody have to say about your choices? What you do?
For tailor-made clips.
Tailor-made clips?
Tailor-made
.com?
clips.
You had to get your plug in there, didn't you?
Tailor-Made Clips is Kimberly Knight's fetish porn website. She's the woman who shot and narrated the cyst removal video.
Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and just enjoy the pain.
Knight is a former porn actress, stage named Taylor St. Clair. Contact 13 discovered at least 2 more videos on Tailor-Made Clips that show what the State Board of Medical Examiners says is a medical procedure.
I am here for the breast expansion medical trial.
In this video, syringes and saline injections are used to perform a breast enhancement procedure.
Doctor, she's requesting a little at a time, please.
The person purporting to be the doctor hides his face behind a mask. Later in the video, he engages in sexual activity with the patient. The director of the State Board of Medical Examiners says the breast enlargement procedure in the video crosses the line.
That's too much. It's too much.
Metro detectives investigating the Dr. Rick case say they're aware of it, but at this point, they're too wrapped up in the details of that case to pursue any other charges against any other people. Kimberly Knight wouldn't go on camera. She changed her story many times in many conversations with Action News. At first, she said the man in the mask was a medic in medical school doing nothing wrong. She claimed saline is ultimately absorbed by the body, so no harm, no foul. In another conversation, she tearfully apologized for making what she called a mistake. Later, she changed her story again, sending us a notarized affidavit saying any clips depicting the appearance of medical activity are parodies done by actors. Kimberly Knight took down her website after we started asking questions about the medical videos. Once again, we want to reiterate that no one has been arrested or charged in connection with those videos. Darcy Spears, Channel 13.
Well, except for that one guy. That one guy got arrested and charged. But he must be like, he must have had something a little bit like deeper going on. Now I'm going to check one more time. Kimberly Knight. I was looking for interviews with her because she runs like this fetish website at, what is it called again? It's like Clips by something or other. Anyway, she runs a website where you can go buy these like weird fetish videos. And I have one of them here. I have a couple that have tailor-made clips. That's what it is. So this is the kind of stuff that she sells on her website. This is what they look like. They're these kind of like these very odd very hyper specific kind of fetish videos. And this is what they look like. And I went to the website. I can go look it up again. Where they charge like, $25, $40 to download videos. Very odd fetish stuff, which you will see a little bit of.
Oh my god! Why are you getting so close? Oh, are you noticing my new outfit? My Ibra outfit that I got for my boyfriend? Really just gonna stand there and stare at me like a creeper. Because what? Oh my god! Oh my god! No, I don't want to pop, please! Change me back. I don't want to be a blueberry. Oh no! What? It's okay, you can be my boyfriend. Please. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, I'm gonna pop. Oh, I can feel it. It's gonna happen. Oh, I'm gonna pop.
Yeah. So there are people that will pay. They'll pay good money to crank it to videos like that. And that's pretty much all she does right now. It's just stuff like that, where it's just like boobs and body enlargements in weird ways.
Exhausted. Oh, so tired. How long day at work? Just sit down and relax. My hair's down. Oh. Nice. Drink. Smells like alcohol. Maybe makes us a worth it.
I mean, who amongst us doesn't just come home after a hard day's work and find a glass of half drank something or other and just say, "Hey, I'm thirsty."
Oh, that's exactly what I feel tingly.
It takes the edge off, you know?
My feet feel itchy though. Weird. What the? How did my slippers get back on? Why am I wearing stockings? What? How tired am I? Was I wearing stockings today? No, I wasn't wearing stockings. And I know for a fact I took my slippers off.
That wasn't just any alcohol, okay? That was magic. That was magical alcohol. Something like maybe Alice from Alice in Wonderland might have drank.
Am I drunk? Was this alcohol? What on earth? So weird.
What is going on?
No, I'm not going crazy. I was not wearing my slippers and all my
What could happen?
Ugh. My body feels itchy and tingly. No, I don't like this drink. Oh, can't relax with these on. Take them off.
But she can't. They're too tight.
Why won't they come off? Oh, they're starting to feel tight. Oh, they're hurting me. Why are they hurting me? Oh, where do these stockings come from? These aren't even mine.
Oh my God. This goes on for 8 minutes. Hold on. We got to skip ahead a little bit.
Oh, they're so tight. What's going on? Oh God, these slippers feel like prison. Oh, my boobs feel weird too. Oh my God, my shirt feels tight. Oh, what's going on? Why are they getting so big? Oh, my butt's itchy too now.
What the fuck?
Everything's going. Further away. Oh my god, I'm getting taller and bigger. Oh, my feet are hurting again. Oh my god. Oh, this happened.
Just cut to it's a living.
Oh, my feet are getting huge.
Yeah, you could pay like $25 for this. $25. Somebody put this on the internet for free. Somebody put this on YouTube for free. This is allowed on YouTube.
Oh no, my heels are itchy. Ow, 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 ow. Oh my god. What's happening?
It's not even well made. It's so people have a fetish just for people swelling up. And yeah.
Oh, I can feel it. Oh, oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, this feels amazing.
Well, now she's free. But anyways, that's a taste of what that woman's business is all about. I think but she's not the only one. There's a whole bunch of people. I found one other person. Well, I found a few other people, but I saved one other video. It's called Blueberry Allergy. We'll have to skip around this one too because these tend to be a little long for what they're giving you. Oh. And this is their whole thing. They just do videos where they swell up.
Really?
Yes. What's yours is mine, remember?
Oh no.
Is that blueberry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm allergic to blueberries.
Do we need to call somebody?
No, it's not an allergy like that per se. It's more of a
No, it's not like that. It's a good allergy.
swelling.
Oh no.
Why have you never mentioned that before?
Well, for one, I've never seen you eat blueberries because generally, if it didn't die to get on your plate, you don't eat it. So, I didn't really think that.
This was like before OnlyFans, right? Like this is what people used to do before OnlyFans to hustle for a little extra cash. Like, well, we can make fetish videos. People like feet, people like swelling bodies.
It would be something important to mention.
Are your boobs growing?
Yeah. See, they swell. It's just sort of what happens when I have blueberries.
Is that like?
I want to apologize. I know I overreacted. I'm sorry. High school was really hard on me. People kept making fun of me because I went from like flat to like D cup or something.
And they would always be feeding me, secretly feeding me
It
blueberries.
was just, I don't know. It was just hard, and I should have told you. You didn't know, so I wanted to say.
And that's another aspect of many of these videos. They're all POV videos where you could be, it's like you're there, like she's your girlfriend. suffering this ailment, and you just get to sit back and just be a concerned partner.
You're just not talking to me now? I think I have a way to make you say something. What the? That
He
was
tricked
a
her.
shit.
He had blueberries in his mouth. What a son of a bitch.
That was blueberry juice.
He's like, we're going to play Destiny, okay? With your giant heaving blueberry swollen breasts.
Oh my god. Well fucking played. I hope you're ready for this because this is all you're getting.
It's the weirdest shit.
I don't even know how far this is going to make me go. I've never had this use, so we're going to see how they can go. Bigger? Better? What do you think? No? Well, we're about. Is that good?
What do people say about this? Okay, we get the point. So she's got 32.1K subs. A short clip we did a while back that didn't quite end up as we hoped. We had some fun how it ended, though. Great video. I needed a smile. I mean it. I just had a rough experience, and this cheered me up. Well played indeed. I would like to see what happened next. Are there going to be more videos like this anymore? You guys should make a full body blueberry rig suit and blow it up. Mind blowing. Oh my goodness. People getting turned on in the comments. So what is she doing now? So she is definitely now still making stuff. Now announcing boob sweat. Oh, is she going to be selling boob sweat? I think the answer is yes. Boob sweat by no.
It's fascinating to watch from the outside.
I don't want to watch that. Fuck no. Boob sweat by Demora. Stop at your bra size stairs. Not a fan. At the X3 convention in my Bunny Diva costume. Footage from our Disney trip. Almost 3 hours long. You could spend the whole night. Slice of life. So now they just do lifestyle vlogs, retrospective and going forward. I'm back for a few days. So it's just a woman with giant boobs that people watch. Hey, more power to you, giant breasted lady. Okay, so what else I got? We're at the end. We got one more video to watch, and this one should be more interesting because I want to see what the kind of people that are into this kind of stuff, not necessarily the ones that make this kind of material. And this is from what's the channel called again? The Soft White Underbelly. This guy does a lot of great interviews with a lot of different walks of life, and he has very intimate interviews with them. And so we'll check out this interview, see if it's interesting, and then we'll probably call it a night. My allergies are not being kind to me, so I apologize for the low energy.
All right, Helena.
Hello.
Helena, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Originally from Norway.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And you moved to the United States at what age?
Oh my God! Now you're gonna have to make me do math.
When you were a kid?
Age? I moved here in '97, so that may be about 23.
Okay.
Yep.
So you grew up in Norway?
Yeah, born and raised.
How was your childhood?
Good, normal childhood.
Mom and dad?
Yep. No siblings, only child. But yeah, I did all my schooling there and had some jobs, and then I came over to LA on vacation in '94. Kind of got headhunted by some talent manager, and they're like, "You have to come to LA. We'll help you out." And ever since then, I've been here.
And you've been married, had kids?
Oh, she's not. She doesn't. No, she makes the stuff. She's a dominatrix.
Kids, anything like that?
I was married. That
I have a feeling.
Resolved, so to speak, in 2004. No kids.
No kids. And you
Thank God.
have an interesting fascination with something that affects your personal life, right?
Yes.
How would you describe it?
Well, obviously the term BDSM is very broad, but I'm into. Most people call it more of a niche because it's very. There's a lot of people into it, but it's a little controversial, and it's called more edge play than anything, but it's a medical fetish. But it goes way beyond just using a speculum and having
Oh.
some sexual fun. For me it's about the authenticity of it, and it has to, or it doesn't have to be, but it needs to be really authentic, real medical stuff. We're talking the instruments and the whether it's a gyno chair or a surgery table or whatever it is. I've what I consider I've been fortunate enough to play with real medical professionals, and obviously you get the real genuine experience, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she's got to be with the top tier people, the top level stuff. She can't be fucking around with people that are just hobbyists. Okay, she's real doctors.
But that is just something that's it's been there since I was about 12, and it's something that's really deeply rooted. Kind of, I feel like it's a need. It's a real need.
Is it hard for you to be satisfied sexually without that in play?
Yes and no. I mean, not to say that I can't have, regular vanilla sex and not be satisfied, but I can't be in a long-term committed relationship with any form of medical play, because it is so, I crave it if I don't get it for a long period of time.
So you need a relationship where that's part
yeah,
of it.
I do, and then it's just a very strange feeling, and it narrows down the pool of people that you can date, which makes it really hard. And personally, I've been searching for, I don't know, about a decade to find that right person.
It's like, yeah, there's a lot of freaks involved in this stuff. Not well-adjusted people that are stable.
Because a lot of, if you want to go into having a relationship with a real medical professional, a lot of them are afraid of potentially losing their license, or
Oh, no way.
maybe get cold feet because they think that you might out them in some shape or form. They want you to sign NDAs, which I don't have a problem with, because I'm not out to wreck anybody's career. But yeah, it it makes it a little hard when you go out
need to
and
find
date.
somebody who's into it as well.
Yeah,
But who
yeah.
can deliver?
Yeah, exactly.
you need.
Yeah, and you can't just go on Match and meet somebody and say, hey, by the way, I'm into this. You probably see the person run off as fast as they can.
And just to have
so-
somebody
You could probably just put it in your bio, though. You could be like, yeah, I'm into medical fetishism. Only medical fetishists need apply.
put on a doctor's outfit and a speculum doesn't really do the trick.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I've
Yeah,
had
see,
a
we've
lot
been watching all these phonies. She wants the real deal. She's like, no, I need an MD. I need a doctor. And I got to be taken into his practice, his office.
of people approach me on, I have my Twitter following, and then FetLife, and I've had people that they're into also medical play, but for them it's sufficient to, like what you're saying, just put on the pretend to do the syringe, pretend to do the
So she's more like akin to the characters from the film Crash, or the book Crash, J.G. Ballard's Crash, where they're fetishists for car accident victims and wounds and all that kind of stuff surrounding that. So she needs the real deal. She can't just be, she's not a day player.
The IV, pretend to do the procedure. But to me, it's like, no. If you're going to do the IV, I want the IV in, but I want it done by somebody who knows what they're doing, because safety, I mean, no matter what you do in BDSM, to me, safety comes first.
You and I had an appointment to meet yesterday, but you missed it because you were actually, tell me why you missed yesterday's.
Yeah, that wasn't so much fun. That was an actual medical procedure, but yeah, that was about 30 vials plus of blood draw. And the weird thing is, and some people are a little surprised when I say it, others get it, but I can separate. If I go to the doctor, if I go to the gynecologist and I have my pap smear or something, I don't get sexually aroused. Now, of course, if I let my mind wander and I go into that space, I might. But to me, it's just that's a doctor's appointment, and I keep that like professional. So
Yeah, I would hope so. It's called being an adult.
I don't, go into my play space, so I can separate that. So, yesterday having my blood drawn and whatnot, that's just a medical procedure.
There's nothing
and
sexual
it's
about that.
not, yeah, there's nothing sexual
Oh, I
to
see.
me about that.
And where do you think this came from?
My best guess is probably because my dad used to work in or for a medical supply company. And so they would supply, hospitals, doctors' offices with, instruments. I don't know if you want to call it furniture, but the various implements that they needed, whether it's, operating table, exam table, gyno chair, all those things, So, and at the time, I had a horse, and my parents got me the horse when I was very young, and the stipulation was you have to pay its board and its upkeep and all that. So what happened was I was doing cleaning where my dad worked, so I got to spend a lot of time there and nobody else around, and I got to see all these things and kind of up close, and I was like wondering, what's this, what's that, because you're 12, and at that point, even though you're slowly starting to get or maybe understanding what's the sexual part of you is, I didn't connect the dots. It was just I had this intense fascination with it, and it was probably about a couple years later that I started kind of toying with, I remember my parents had this kit with like a body massager and stuff, and I would use it like, you use like a sexual wand or use cling wrap to mummify myself, and I don't know where it came from, but it was like that was arousing to me, and I thought, well, I got to be nuts, there's something wrong with me.
Well, see, this is what I'm curious about. Like, how do you bridge that gap between like just being interested? Because it's fascinating. Those kind of devices, that kind of world, especially if you're a kid, it's also foreign. At some point, I imagine it becomes normalized. But so far, she's suggesting that this idea that the body massagers are the thing that led her into maybe thinking other things could also be sexualized. I assume that's kind of what she's getting at, but she's also kind of denying, I don't know why. I don't know why I made that connection. Well, it seems pretty apparent even just by what you said, because you took something that and used it for something that was different than its initial use, and then you got curious about the other things you were fascinated with.
I would and I would think about medical things as I was doing it, and that would make it even more enticing. So it kind of grew from there. And then I just, I didn't really do much with it for a long time until I was probably in my mid-20s when I kind of started really thinking about it again and thinking, well, I got to figure this thing out. Like, what is with this, And
What is
I
wrong
can't
with
remember
me?
what prompted me to go online or what to look for, but I came across, you know, some medical videos, and it just really kind of spoke to me. I'm like, that's it, you know, I want to try that. And then you go through the phase of like, you get cold feet, you're like, "Ah, I can't do it. And you go back and forth and you feel weird and you feel like something's wrong with you. And then you get to the phase, well, how do I put this into real life? Like, how do I find somebody who's actually into this that I can be comfortable enough to explore this with? And, you know, luckily for me,
That's like such a huge gap of time. She was like, well, then I didn't revisit it until I was in my mid 20s. Well, why did you revisit it? What led you there?
I
There's something missing here. There is something missing from this story. I sense it. I could feel it. I could feel it.
managed to find a real medical professional, a surgeon, was my first experience. And he had a huge clinic in Torrance. And so, you know, we played in his OR and like the aftercare rooms, and it was like a revelation, you know, because I mean, I had never experienced any of this before. I just seen it, you know, but you know, he would use the IVs and the oxygen and gas and do different procedures, and you know, it was so mind blowing. And at that point, it was like this light bulb, and it was like, that's it. You know, like I've found my place and I need this. I just get chills right now just thinking about it, you know? It's like, and because I mean, it's not just the feeling of it, but for me, it's also the smell, seeing the equipment, and like the sound of steel and the feeling of the cold steel, but also the immense amount of trust that you have to have with a partner when you're dealing with edge play like that. Because if they sedate you and they have you restrained, where are you going to go? How are you going to get out? So you have to have complete trust and comfort, you know.
Yeah, but isn't that part of the kink of edge play of doing that stuff? Is that intense vulnerability? Like, yeah, I understand you want to find somebody that you can trust, but it's also like because they like to. It's almost like they like to do dangerous things, but in a safe way. Because that's what's in bed. That's the thing that's turning them on is the fact that that person could take advantage of them. They might take advantage of them.
That person. And that's what makes it really intimate. I think it's actually one of the most intimate forms of BDSM because of that, you know. And I just, it's very intriguing to me.
And you prefer the role of patient.
Yeah, I do. So, you know, I consider myself a sub in that sense, but I can switch. So I have, you know, played the doctor and been dominant. But
Well, and give somebody an inauthentic experience. Not cool. Not cool, Helena.
of course, there are things when it comes to medical stuff that, you know, I just cannot do because I'm not trained to do so. And I'm not going to attempt to put in a catheter in somebody if I'm not trained because it's not safe.
Do you think there was something in your childhood that you experienced that maybe created this, or is it just the fact that your father worked in that field and had the devices around? Maybe you saw them, or you went to his work one day, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember because I as a child I was never sick, so I never went to the hospital or the doctor or anything like that. So I can't say it stems from anything like that. So that's the only thing that I've concluded is that I was just exposed to that environment, and for whatever reason, it resonated with me. And I, to this day, after spending endless hours of trying to figure out why, that's the only thing I can think of, is that I had that, not daily, but constant exposure to it. And it just, I don't know, it just did something to me. It's not like, some people probably walk past a surgery table and they just look at it and they walk on and don't notice. But to me, it's like, ooh, I can think of like all kinds of things I can do on there.
I assume the most powerful sexual experiences you've had have been in this area.
Yes, I would say.
So once you've experienced that, then everything else pales in comparison.
It does, yeah. And I can't say I'm.
Yeah, so she has daddy issues. Well, big surprise, right? But if that's what she's kind of suggesting, that there's something about her father and his work that has connected her to that she made a connection in a weird way. I feel like we're missing something. We're just missing a piece.
Only into that because I do really enjoy latex, heavy rubber, and that kind of thing too. But medical play is definitely like my deep, deep passion. So, at times where I can combine everything, even better, But that's definitely when somebody asks me, what I'm mainly into, that's it. I'm in the process of getting my site up. It'll probably be up in a day or two. I mean, it's such a niche that, I've had several interviews in a lot of the, big time magazines, the real magazines that are left still, not just online, overseas, even in the US, because they're so intrigued by it, because it's most people are into, there's a lot of people obviously into BDSM, but it's like you think of it and you think about restraints and spanking and caning and maybe hoods and masks. And although I'm into hoods and masks, I'm not into the spanking and whatnot, but that's kind of like the mainstream, so to speak. And so when you tell them that you're really into the authentic, medical play and actually what goes on, everybody is very intrigued by that, and I was amazed when I opened my Twitter account and I started posting my photos, and I was up to, 6,000 some followers in like a blink, because people were like, is this real? Is this really you? Like, are you really under? I'm like, yeah.
Do you think there's a larger part of our population that's into this kind of stuff?
I think there's a lot more than you think. Yeah. I think a lot of people either.
That's always the line with people that are into very extreme things. Like, well, it's actually more prevalent and normal than you think. And a lot of people are into it. You wouldn't imagine they would be, but they are. Like, and it's a way to rationalize their behavior. It's a way to rationalize their lifestyle. In a weird way, like, even though like and I'm sure she would, and most people, they acknowledge like, well, this is really edgy, this is extreme, but really, is it though? People just aren't as open as I am about it. And you find that with a lot of things, a lot of different categories, whether it's like fetish stuff or it's just like I said, being an edgy person on the internet. Say if you're somebody that's like anonymous, you have an anonymous social media accounts or your message boards or whatever, and you make like really edgy, racist or humor. Just say that, right? A lot of times when you talk to people that engage in that kind of stuff, they suggest that like, well, this is what everybody's thinking. This is what people are doing. They're just not willing to be out in the open like I am.
They haven't tried it, but they really, really want to. or they've tried it, but it's really hard to find, somebody that's willing to do it
A good
or
practitioner.
can do it. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not hurting anybody.
No, I will not. I do live sessions, and the first thing I always tell people, because some people get a little worried, like, well, I don't want this. I don't want that. And I'm like, you know what? You're safe. I always send out what I call the BDSM list, where they list their hard limits, what they've experienced before, what they haven't experienced. So I know exactly what they've done, what they haven't done, what they're open to, what they don't want to do. And I'm like, your safety is number one. And know this, I will never, ever exceed your limits. And if you're ever uncomfortable or you're scared, just say stop. And it will stop, because I've been in that position myself where I almost got out of it because I got so scared once, and it's not a good feeling. And you want to know that you're comfortable and safe with the person that you're playing with, whether it's medical play or anything else.
But is there an element of danger to it all?
Yeah.
I mean, going to a doctor is sometimes scary for people.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not really. I don't have any fear, but it's of course, the anticipation, because you don't, unless you really. I don't like to do it really like scripted, because then it loses that anticipation. Because I don't like to know what's coming next, And so
there's a respect factor as well, right? You're respecting your
huge.
practitioner.
You have to there's got to be respect. Without that, I don't want to play with somebody, And my last partner, he would literally put me under, anesthesia, and you got to trust somebody with your life, and
So what are you getting out of it if you're under the entire time, through the entire experience? That's what makes this different. That's what makes this really kind of extreme in a certain respect. Like, you're not even consciously experiencing the pleasure or the kink or whatever, or the use of the devices. Then what are you getting out of it? And it has to be the sense of vulnerability and danger and thinking that somebody could take advantage of you. It has to be that.
and be completely comfortable to let somebody do that, but yeah, there is a risk factor to that, but it's just like, if you go and you have surgery, there's a risk to that too. And some people may say, well, you're stupid for doing that, because what if? Well, yeah, I realize that, but we do take the precautions, that we feel are necessary. It's all being monitored, blood pressure, your heart rate, your oxygen saturation, everything. Without that, I wouldn't do it.
Sometimes the tolerance of risk is what brings about the reward that we really want.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just not willing to take those risks, so that means they'll never see the pleasure, or whatever you want to call it, that we're talking about here.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, I can understand how some people are, a little reluctant to do it.
You know what she truly is afraid of, though? Some moisturizer and a fucking hairbrush.
Adventurous.
Yeah, you do. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
And is it so? It's satisfying. It's something you long for. It's hard to find, which makes it even more tantalizing when you finally get it. I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah.
That's part of the magic of it, right?
Yeah. My last partner, I was lucky enough that I got to have it several times a week, sometimes every day. And I can safely say I probably could do it every day if I had the opportunity. But when long periods go by, like now, you start to get that itch, and you're like, what can I do?
She's like, I'd
Because
kill
without
somebody.
that partner,
I'd kill somebody if I could get somebody to stick something inside of me.
with that experience,
You have to go to a lot of medical conventions.
I can't do anything.
You have to go to a lot of medical conventions.
Right? Yeah. I have to go to medical school. Yeah.
And is that you're professional? You have a job outside of this?
Yeah.
But this is also something you do professionally?
The medical.
No, just like working with clients that are into this?
Yes. Yeah. I have people that my followers, if you want to call it that, fans that approach me about having live sessions. And I just had a guy, he signed up for a 24-hour session. Now, of course, you can't play continuously for 24 hours. That's impossible, and he knows that. But, some people too, they just, if you put them in bondage, just restrain them on the operating table and hook them up to, the EKG and, blood pressure and things like that, and you leave them for a few hours, they're perfectly content with that because they just, they slip into, what we call like the subspace where they just, it's a weird thing.
They go into a traumatized fugue state. You could just fuck off for 4, 5, 6 hours. They're just happy to be there for the experience,
Because for me, it's very relaxing. It's therapeutic. It takes away, I'm speaking just for myself here, but it takes away the stress and thoughts of the outside world because you're just in that space and doing what you love and you don't think about anything else and you just slip into that space and it gives you it's very, there's a lot of satisfaction to it.
And does your appetite for more extreme experiences grow as you have new experiences? I mean,
yes and no. I mean,
your examinations get wilder and wilder, I guess.
Well, with the medical, there's only so far you can go. I mean, some people, obviously they're into cutting, suturing, actual surgeries and things like that. That I don't do. I don't do anything that leaves permanent marks and blood. That's just not worth it to me. And that's where I draw the line.
But there are some people that are into that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much.
I want to hear from somebody that's into that. I want to hear from somebody that's all scarred up and fucked up and be like, hey man, it's the only way I can come. Saikun, bro.
And they do they do body modifications. I've had doctors approach me and asked if, can I modify you to look like a doll, which means breast augmentation, you name it. And I'm like, that's just a little too much for me. That's not play anymore. Then it becomes a little too extreme. For me, it's just the experience of certain.
Yeah, I was watching something that I was going to save for another Nightcap, which is like a longer documentary about people that are into fetish cultures and things like that, and how much more pervasive it is, and how much farther people are willing to go. And a woman had allowed somebody to take like medical knives and stuff like that, and like basically carve a tattoo into her thigh. And it was like a process. They like would remove the skin in these long strips, and then she keeps them in a jar at her house. Someday when I don't have anything else, when I don't know what to do, that's probably what we'll watch. But I was just like, it's like an extension of this. It's part of this world. It's part of this kind of stuff. This progression of intensity. It's in the same way that, when you watch like pornography, if you watch enough over a period of time, like you're going to need more and more intense things to get off. And this is like, so when she says she draws the line, I don't really know what that means. I mean, maybe because she looks at it as more of a lifestyle, more of like a professional pursuit, that she does have these hard lines. Like she has a sense of self awareness in a way that maybe some other people don't. Like the people that would be the quote unquote subs don't have. That's possible.
I mean, they may be invasive procedures, but I would never go to the extent of being cut and sutured and having surgeries and things like that.
I just like having somebody clamp my butthole open and look into my inner sanctum.
But, I do, my appetite can grow for, okay, I like hoods more, or I like, latex more in play, or, certain elements that I kind of incorporate. So, you try different things as you go along, and you realize, well, I like this, I don't like this. And I mean, it's really never ending, and it's only restricted by your own imagination. That's what's so great about BDSM. It's like there's no limit as to how far you can go or what you can do. It's only limited by what you can think of. So.
And it sounds like authenticity and respect are the things that kind of control the most, to make it most satisfying for you, right?
Yeah, and obviously having the comfort with the person that you're playing with. You have to be 100% comfortable. Otherwise, you can't let go. And that's the whole idea, is for you to.
Well, how do you develop that relationship? Like if you're not in an actual relationship with somebody that does this stuff, and you're kind of like somebody that has to go out and seek and find people, whether it's through message boards or the internet or whatever, how could you ever really, really, truly get in that situation if you're not in a long-term relationship with somebody? Truly have that trust. See, I think that's where she's a little cagey, maybe a little disingenuous. I'm not even saying that she's intentionally doing so, but part of the whole thing is the vulnerability. And I don't understand why you wouldn't just say that. Like part of it is the danger. She kind of said that earlier where he's like, well, there is obviously there's an element of danger there. She's like, yeah, of course there is. But it seems like that would be almost the overriding element of it, the most pervasive part of it.
Able to just fully let go.
And is your encounters, are they basically just an examination, or do they culminate in a sexual act?
It kind of depends on who I play with. If it's just, a person that I occasionally play with, it may just be play, but no intercourse, just because I want to be, you got to be careful with, who you have sex with and whatnot. But so yeah, I'd say that it kind of varies. It depends. It depends on if it's somebody that I'm comfortable enough with and I know enough about. If it's somebody that I've played with a few times and I know that person, then yeah, sex can happen. But it's not necessarily a requirement on either end to have sex. It's the play that kind of gets you off, if you will.
And the medical fetish is just one of many, of course, right?
Yes.
There's a whole.
Oh gosh, it's pages upon pages.
There's a whole subculture after subculture of people that are into this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
What does that say about our society?
It's funny because, the Medical Association in their, what's it called? International, it's the IDC, the different codes for diseases. BDSM used to be in there as a psychiatric disease. Like you're mentally ill if you're into any of this. Now they removed that. Which I think it's good, because
Most of us have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sure, I'm sure there are crazy people in that field as well, just like there is, anywhere else. But most of the people that I've encountered that are into any of this are actually some of the nicest people I know. And I think it's, you're saying about society, I think people that are into some form of bondage slash BDSM have a much healthier sex life. And
Oh, see, that's always the thing, though. That's always the thing. It's always like, well, this is actually healthy. It's healthier than your normie sex life. It's actually because it's more expressive. It's more honest because we all have these dark desires. That's not to suggest that like some people do not have repressed sex lives. They definitely do, or they can't communicate well with their partners and they can't kind of get what they need out of that experience. But I don't think that has anything to do with what she's talking about. I think that's just more of a problem we have as a culture, as a society, and relationships where people just are not upfront with who they are and what they want. And then they get too far down the line into something in a relationship and they feel awkward about exposing those things. They feel uneasy. They feel like they may face rejection. I don't know if I mean a lot of the stuff feels like it's like learned behavior to a certain degree. I can say that in my own life and the life of some of the people I know. Some of the stuff is just learned behavior. It is like kind of it's some of it is born out of porn addiction or what have you. Because a lot of times, I am of a generation where like porn was ubiquitous. Like it's something we've always had access to in a way that generations before us never really had. So we're kind of inundated. We've been a little bit like molded to head into more extreme directions. But when you get to this level, you get to somebody like this, like who is like this is her life now. She has dedicated her life to it. Like that's not, and I don't even think she would suggest that either. I don't think she would say that either. I don't think she would suggest that that's like, oh, that's the norm. There's a lot of people like that. I don't think so. But they always try to make these kind of allusions to this notion that everybody's actually secretly into this stuff, which I don't think is really true. I mean, people like to do, have fun in the bedroom and whatnot, but myself included. But I don't think I don't think that actually like wanting to do these kind of things or that level of vulnerability is spurred from something natural. I guess I'll say.
They're more grounded. I mean, I know that sounds very strange.
Yeah, but they're not grounded because of the activity. They're grounded because of the honesty. If you have to be that open with somebody, you're going to be more grounded. Or you have to, or if you can be that open with somebody, you might actually have a benefit. It might benefit your relationship. But I don't think that always extends to these kinds of things. Like you could just advocate for being more open and honest and trying to communicate better. Honestly, that's really what we're talking about. But when you're in like a niche fetish community, that is all they communicate about. It is the highest ethic that they have in their lives. So of course they're open about it. They're open about that aspect of their life in a way that maybe some people aren't.
But I think because you have an outlet,
That's what I
not just a sexual outlet, but it's a creative outlet. It's bondage. It's bonding. It bonds people.
No, but I can imagine someone being very frustrated with their life.
Yeah.
If they never get to express these hidden desires that they have and they can't express because they don't have the right partner, or they don't have the courage to take that risk, or they're just unable to connect with somebody that can help them.
Yeah. I think, if you have one person who's interested in it or into it, and then the other partner is not, you're gonna have, you know, relationship issues. And I've been there because I've had, you know, straight vanilla relationships, and it's frustrating, you know, because I feel like I can't.
Yeah, it's frustrating because you're selfish and you only care about your pleasure, and you can't take them to what you want to do. Which, you know, credit to her. Maybe you just shouldn't date people like that if you feel that intensely about it. But this narcissistic kind of selfish tinge, it kind of orbits everything we talk about, whether it's antinatalism, whether it's veganism, hedonism. It's really about the self. It's about what can I get out of this situation? What can I get out of this relationship? Whether it's to a relationship to existence or to food or to sexuality. It's intensely narcissistic. She seems like a nice lady to one degree or another. But that's what that's at the bottom of it. I think that's what we're talking about. That's what we're seeing here.
I can't be my true self. And that's why, you know, it's taken so long to try to find somebody.
Because she's made this her identity. She can't be her true self because her entire life revolves around this activity rather than it being part of her activity. Like, you know, sex is important and people's sex lives are important. And if you're married or if you're in a relationship, it's an important component of your life. But it's only a component. It's only part of it. It's only part of it. It's not everything. It's not like it's just like, oh shit, man, like, you know, my wife or my husband, they don't like doing this position. They don't like doing this position, and this is where how I really get off. How can I ever be with this person?
Because I know if I go into a vanilla relationship, initially it may be just fine and it's exciting, it's new, but eventually I'm going to have that need. And if that partner can't give me that, you know, what I need, it's going to cause issues, you know. So yeah,
I may
think a
have
lot
to
of
go for a doctor visit more than I would otherwise.
people either aren't aware of, you know, their sexual needs. Maybe they don't understand, like if they're not sexually satisfied with a partner, they may not know that they in fact might be into it until maybe they get exposed to it and try it and they go, oh, that was kind of like the missing link for me, you know. And that's what happened for me, because even though I enjoy regular sex, it was like I feel like something is missing. There's something I just am not like 100%
Yeah, where's the catheter? You know, where's the mouth gag?
satisfied, you know. But once I found this and I really started delving into it, I'm like, oh, yeah, there we have it, you know. So if I can mix the two, you know, that would be the perfect world.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Elena, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
Thanks.
I really like that channel though, the Soft White Underbelly. If people want to go check it out, it's a great channel, and he does interviews with all sorts of people, all different walks of life, from cops to inbred families to preachers' daughters to hackers to incest survivors to prostitutes to drug addicts, everything you could possibly think of. And it's one of my it's something, if you're into sociology or if you're just into kind of interviews and fly on the wall documentaries. That doesn't always mean he goes as deep as you want to, or he's able to navigate some of those conversations. Some of them he's able to navigate much better than others. That I would say is like not a great example. I mean, there is a utility and there is a benefit in allowing just somebody just to say what they want to say. But it doesn't really expose the truth of the matter, I would say. It exposes what somebody wants to present to you, which is usually about like 40% of the reality, you know? I think we could all probably say that to one degree or another. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to know more about Zoobox, there's links that you can find in the descriptions of these videos. Also, make sure to follow us on alternative platforms. Odyssey might become our home pretty soon. If our YouTube channel gets completely yeeted, you'll probably be able to find us on Odyssey. So if you have an Odyssey account, please follow us over there. It's in the description, and it's just look up Zoobox. It should be able to find it. We actually have a lot of videos over there because it's connected to my YouTube account. So anything under 30 minutes auto uploads over there. And most of the Ghosts of the Movies, Ghosts of the Library, etc. Usually I put up over there as well. So thanks for watching again. And sorry I was a little low energy. Fucking allergy season. My God, it's wreaking havoc. It's wreaking havoc. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Friday night. Probably on Odyssey because we're suspended from YouTube. So adios.
Looking back, a morning comes, don't find your face in your grass. Take the moonlight by the text when it's such a shading. What is there? It's just the same. What it's dry in your crown. I'm spanning my grass, walking back so when my grass you're fading. I'm waiting so long. I'm waiting so long. I'm waiting so long. I'm waiting. Rolling up the stones around you, turn your face to your back. In the silence of a better dream, singing to the wind, you're shedding. The rainy winds will wash away all what you want in your crown. That is a man, but it's temperate, so anyways, we're fading. I'm waiting so long. I'm waiting so long. I'm waiting so long. I'm waiting. Try your crown. I'm spanning my grass, walking back so when my grass you're fading. I'm waiting so long.